Gosh, it's hard to describe what it means, honestly, because it means so many things. Some positive and some negative. You know, there's a slight feeling of, is this the end, sort of feeling, you know, or where do I go from here, you know, because this is such a, you know, such a pinnacle, if you like, and the only way from a pinnacle is down. That's the only direction to go in. But at the same time, clearly, especially coming from my peers, my fellow actors, it carries enormous meaning with it. I've always been a unionist all my life. I'm a very proud member of SAG. I've been a member since my very first film that I did in America. As soon as I could join SAG, I did. I think that was probably in 1984, probably, or maybe 83. So yes, I am a great believer in, you know, without the protection of a union, really, you know, you're thrown to the wolves, aren't you? You know, you're in a very savage world without that protection. And I have, in fact, been a part of union action more than once in my life. And I always fully support any union action that has to take place. So yes, I am a believer in a union, but I feel that it should not interfere with or take the place of the creative imagination. It worked very well. Obviously, you can't be completely protected. It's just not possible. In fact, on that film, my costumier got tested positive. She was absolutely fine, but she got a positive reaction. We were all tested every day. And obviously the crew maintained their mask protocols very, very seriously all day long. Absolutely no one was not to be seen without a mask, you know, fully covering their face. It's kind of heartbreaking because if I met one of those people I've been working with all day, every day on the street the next day, I would not have recognized them. But it's very interesting. You start recognizing people in a different way, which is just to do with their eyes, obviously, yes. And then you see the whole face and it's a completely different person. No, in fact, I've always said as an actor, really, you can't win playing a real-life character because at your very, very best, you'll only be possibly, if you're lucky, 50% of what the real person is, you know. And then if you are very, very close to being what the real person is, then is it an impersonation or is it, you know. So, but what resolved it in my mind was thinking that you're doing a portrait as an artist, the way a painter paints a portrait of Golda Meir or a portrait of the Queen or a portrait of David Bowie or whoever it is. A portraitist brings his or her own understanding, perception, his or her own character, personality, sensibility to the artwork. And so when I thought, well, actually, what I am in portraying these people is actually a portraitist. I'm bringing as much of my own perception and understanding of this character as I am impersonating the character, if you see what I mean. So that sort of liberated me as an artist, I guess. There is no genre that I'm particularly attracted to. I just love to mix it up. I love to go from a very, very small budget film where you're really fighting to get the film on the screen to a sort of enormously well-budgeted film where you've got the time to do the most incredible and build the most fantastical sets and wonderful, wonderful costumes. I just really love mixing it up. I play a great character in Shazam, you know, wonderful character. And to go from that to playing Golda Meir, you know, is a wonderful sort of, it's like going on a ride in Disneyland, you know, there's something new around every corner. Well, I tell you what I tell them. I say, be on time and don't be an asshole. is the sort of bottom line. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but you know, that's the bottom line of the beginning point. And then grab every opportunity, you know, because you never know which role is going to be a defining role for you, and which ones are going to sort of, you know, disappear down the plug hole. Some do disappear down the plug hole, and others become defining for you. But you never know which is which before you start a project. I don't, anyway. So, you know, grab every opportunity that comes, give it your all, absolutely give it your all, and hope for the best, you know. I don't really, quite honestly. I mean, in my very early days, I mean, I was really, really into theatre acting, and I sort of loved the concept, the idea of the sort of late 19th century actresses, the Sarah Bernhardts, the Eleonora Dusas, was sort of my, and in their own way, film didn't obviously exist then, but they were sort of huge stars, and I was very romantically sort of involved in the idea of that, and somehow with that, along with that went classical theatre. So I did a lot of classical theatre, and then discovered the incredible pleasures of and challenges of film acting. Now I find my inspiration comes from younger actors and actresses. And I've got quite a long list of those that I really, really admire. Many of them fellow countrymen of mine, Kate Winslet, Vanessa Kirby, Jodie Comer, those sorts of young actresses that I watch and I find very inspiring. There's an organisation called Meals on Wheels that both my husband and I support, because in our personal experience they've been invaluable without both of our parents. Also, domestic violence is another issue that I'm involved with. Women supporting women. There's an organisation called Women for Women, which gives financially encourages and supports women in third world countries to create their own businesses. I'm a great believer in the energy and the positive things that women bring to our planet, and I believe in supporting them where and when we can. And I'm feeling now, looking at the situation in Syria and in Afghanistan, that I think in the new year I'm going to want to see how I can support women in those two particular countries. Thank you for being you. Thank you for choosing this ridiculous, dangerous, wonderful, creative, obsessive profession that is the profession of being an actor. We all know, us actors, that when we open this beautiful parcel that's so brightly and perfectly wrapped and with wonderful wrapping, and on it says, "You are an actor." And you open this wonderful parcel, and in it are all kinds of beautiful surprises and heartbreak and difficulties and struggle and all of that. But I love actors for the fact that they've decided to open that parcel, and I'm one of them.